one of my slogans is if Brandon Johnson can get elected mayor, John Kitover can 100% get elected to be the mayor, because Brandon Johnson has proven that the dumbest of us can actually become the mayor. And that's a shame, because the other candidate, Paul Vallis, who ran against him, is really stupid, because he didn't even declare election fraud. And in my opinion, the fact that Brandon Johnson, if you look at the heat map of all the votes, if you look at the South Side, I would contest, it's just a theory now, that those many people in those areas don't actually vote. That's just an opinion. It's not a fact. I'm not saying we have automated voting, but I will say the candidate for the other Democrat candidate, Paul Vallis, he sucked. And I just think election fraud is it's a much bigger problem than we know about, and it really starts at the petition level, not just the actual voting booth and election day and the results. It really starts at the beginning of the fraud pipeline. But I'm gonna pin a link to my Instagram. I have a day 3 plan. I got a day 10 plan. But my day 3 plan, on day 1, I will issue a mayoral proclamation to cut property taxes for all Chicago residents and homeowners by 25% immediately. And the system will have to rearrange how it's funding and spending all operations across all programs and projects. And this is detrimental to the Chicago Teachers Union. And unfortunately, the Chicago Teachers Union is in a lot of trouble. They have failed audits for multiple years, and they have refused to provide accounting documents of all their activities. It's a closed union. They don't have to report their books. And in my opinion, to be a parasite on the Chicago homeowners, taxpayers, it's over, and we have to do it by proclamation. The fact is, the system will have to readjust. There's no other way to do it. We're not going to lower it over 4 years. We're cutting it immediately. We have to cauterize the wound. So my day 1 plan, again, is to issue a Chicago mayoral decree and proclamation that we are cutting property taxes. If you're a homeowner in Chicago or a condo owner, you get a 25% tax break immediately. And in fact, it won't just be in the future. We're going to retroactively go back and issue you a refund for the 2026 year. This year, you will get a 25% property tax. It's not in arrears. It's now. So vote John Kitover. Go to chicagomayorvote.com. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Go to chicagomayorvote.com right now. Our day 2 plan is to rip out all the bike lanes, rip out all of these city parking meters, get rid of the City of Chicago parking app, and then after we rip it all away and everybody gets free parking again, there is no parking enforcement, all those jobs eliminated, we will save $300 million in the first year. And then we're going to sue the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, who defrauded and scammed Chicago, who has taken billions of dollars away from us. They control our streets. We pay for all the enforcement. But anyways, we're suing the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority on day 2. That's day 2 of my 3-day plan, if you're following along. Number 1, again, cut property taxes by 25% day 1. Day 2, we sue the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority for fraud, and we take back our streets. Whose streets? Our streets. That's right. Not the Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and the sheikh over there. They don't own the Chicago streets. The Chicago taxpayer does. Richard Daley pulled a fastball and fucked us. Rahm Emanuel caught that fastball and fucked us again. And Lori Lightfoot took that dildo and shoved it up our ass. And Brandon Johnson is literally parasiting the city, defrauding us with nonprofits. $300 million TIF? $3 billion TIF? What's a TIF? It's a tax, stupid. There's no such thing as called an investment. You got to borrow, you got to steal, or you got to take to give. And that's the way this scam works, baby. So now you know our 2-day plan, our 3-day plan. Guess what we have in store for you on day 3? Anybody? Are you listening? Can you hear me?
What do you have in store for us on day 3?
Can you hear me? We haven't even gotten to day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7. I have so many things in store, and I've been taking notes on things that I want to do. And you know where I'm starting from? Here at home. I'm looking at my street corners, and I'm saying, why did the city of Chicago spend thousands of dollars to put up signs saying, if you park past this sign, we're going to tow you? And so what they've done is they've removed at least 4 parking spots on my little tiny street where we have no parking spots. And if you park in a spot that now they declare is no longer a spot because of a sign, they will tow you. They will take your car to an impound lot in Logan Square or downtown Chicago in the gutter underneath a highway and make you go into a little wooden box where they have people that will shake you down and ruin your day. And it's not just like a 1-hour experience. It's a multi-hour experience into the inner depths of Dante's hell. You've never been to the center of the universe until you go to the Chicago impound lot. Just finding your car is a journey. And when you get out and your car's all fucked up and they make you show you the papers and you paid and you cleared and you good to go, and then just a couple of weeks later they snatch your car again. God damn, this city is ruthless. I've been through that more times than I care to share, and every time it's the same experience over and over again. Many people have never been to the center of hell multiple times, but your future mayor has. I've gone down like Dante. I've gone down like Mistopheles. I've gone into the pits of hell for this city many times over. And I've come back up with the spirit of Howard Irving. I think his name was Howard Irving. He was the first black mayor of Chicago. The guy was so articulate. He could articulate. Brandon Johnson can only ejaculate. Harold
Washington?
Harold Washington, isn't that his name?
Harold Washington, yes.
Yeah, I've been to his library downtown. It is a huge library, but his videos of him talking about politics and justice and equality are amazing. That guy, was a real communicator, and unfortunately, he passed on. That was a great tragedy. I don't think any of the people on this app that sit here and talk about Malcolm X or Martin Luther King or Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton, man, fucking talk about Howard Irving, because that's a real G, dog. That motherfucker was the embodiment of the Holy Ghost. He was a vivacious and eloquent and spiritual master. He was a good guy. Anyways, Brandon Johnson has a lot to learn. And day by day, he tears this city down because of incompetence. He's never run a business. If he just sat in City Hall and said, I'm a business, I would have more respect for him. But he doesn't do that. He runs around and says, white man is the devil and we need reparations. That's not running a business. That's running the complaint department in the layaway section of a Walmart. That's not how you run one of the world's greatest cities. No! Anyways, this is not a comedy show, but it is becoming funny, I can tell. Anything else you want to say, Project B, my fellow Chicagoan?
Yeah, man, I wish you the best of luck. I'm not gonna lie to you, but obviously I see that you have definitely a comedic appeal, which I think the city kind of needs, to be honest. Also, look, Chicago once upon a time was a great city, but the corruption has been here since the time of the dailies. And I think that it's largely pay to play. here, and that
Yeah, but that's Chicago. What about New York? What about New York? Can we hear from New York, please?
So
They're not Democrat.
New York not Democrat? Long guy, is that?
No, but you're saying Chicago because it's close to Atlanta. I'm not from America. I'm not living in America. I live in Europe. I live in Europe.
From what I understand about New York is very much progressive Democrat. And the major boroughs outside of Long Island, which does have a more conservative base.
But who are you? Do you go to vote? Do you vote for Democrats? Do you go personally?
I do not vote for Democrats. No.
So please be quiet. Obviously, I can tell you about that because I know how it feels like. We need difference. We need to change. And I'm involved in the Democratic Parliament. I'm in the UK. I'm one of the Democratic Parliaments. I work for the Parliament. So sometimes we need to vote, but we don't believe as colored people. We don't believe in voting. But we pushed it forward, and then Donald Trump
doesn't believe in voting, and he works for Parliament. Is that the cigarette company?
Right, but how is he talking about American politics from the UK?
I don't know, but it's getting late in the day, and in Chicago, as they say, I saw a man dance with his wife. He had the time of his life in Chicago. So, anyways, thanks for being here, Project. I do have to get petition signatures. I haven't decided to run as a libertarian or a Democrat yet. Everybody just tells me to run as a Democrat, but in my opinion, I have a much greater chance of getting on the ballot as a libertarian than I do a Democrat. And I think if given a third option on the ballot for mayor, it's possible that because I can split the vote, I can eke out a small, tiny victory as a surprise libertarian candidate. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if your messaging is strong, because again, what it'll do is it'll give you FaceTime and it'll give you a chance to go up against whoever they primary or whatever it is that we will call it, whoever they put up in that position, opposed to having to fight amongst all the people vying for that spot. You can at least have your own platform to go off of. The only thing about it is that I think that mentality of everyone here in Chicago is very much vote blue no matter who. You know what I'm saying? Overcoming that mindset, that's should be the big hurdle. Just trying to convince people through your rhetoric or through your common sense to be able to get them to side with you based upon reason.
Okay, so
if a legitimate strategy, I think that strategy is legitimate.
It's legitimate, but if it's always vote blue no matter who, why don't I still take the message within the vote blue and stay out of vote purple? Because there is no slogan. It's vote purple. It's like it's better to bring the message in house within that network than to work in a network that has no network.
Okay, you sing the same song on different states. That's what I hear you saying. You're saying that you'll carry some of the talking points from the Democratic Party. However, you won't try to fight within their arena. You will take it to another arena where you have less competition.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't need to carry Democrat talking points. I can carry libertarian talking points into the Democratic Party, even if they're not Democrat Party talking points, because just being in the network is enough to cause a disruption. But what I'm saying is there is no libertarian network. So if you want to lead the people, you got to go to the people. That's why I'm thinking it's better and smarter to file as a Democrat, but at the same time, I think about the experience of the voter when they go to that ballot and they're on the touch screen or they're doing the paper and they see Democrat at the top, then they see a Republican, then they see the Libertarian. Chances are 80% of the people, 60 80% are just going to click Democrat right away. So whoever the fuck the Democrat candidate is, that's who they're going to vote for. But there's no primary for the mayoralship. If there's not a majority vote, it goes into an April runoff special election. So I'm trying to like reverse engineer statistically what my best option is.
Well, yeah, Chicago is definitely like a city that, because like look at Paul Vallis, right? Paul Vallis had at least the CPD, like he had a background with the police. Now, that's a network, that's a whole union, and it's all right. And then you had Brandon Johnson. He had the teachers union. So it's really hard for an outsider to come in and be based just on rhetoric alone to be able to overcome it. You have to build such a grassroots movement and something like, look at how Trump did it. Like, Trump was technically an outsider of the political elite. But what he was able to do was, because of the controversial takes and things that he did and said, he was able to appeal. Like, he pissed a lot of people off, but he found his network. He found his niche. He found the people who were disenfranchised.
We don't know who influenced him. We don't know who influenced him. We don't know. We don't know. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, from the outside looking in, I'm talking about being Monday morning quarter. You can't tell me my perspective is wrong. It's my perspective. So suck a dick. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, like, don't tell me what I can and cannot proceed.
Okay, Rabboni Shalom, thanks for your insight. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe running as the Libertarian candidate is the best option in trying to create or organize more of a liberty approach. El Norma, what do you think? I'm trying to game theory the filing for mayorship. Do I file as a Libertarian that has no network, or do I file as a Democrat which has a huge network and bring Libertarian talking points into the Democrat network? So this will be my third election. I'm 0 for 2. And everybody says if you're Republican, you file as a Democrat. And I got to agree. So I'm just at a crossroads. Do I want to go 0 for 3 as a Libertarian or 0 for 3 as a Democrat? What's the best chance? Because a lot of this is I know I'm going to lose. So part of it is it's about the journey, the experience, the happening, and my input and influence into the environment as a candidate. That's, to me, one of the things a lot of people overlook, even though we know there's only one winner. Out of the 55 mayors of Chicago, there are thousands of losers that their names are not in the history books, and no one knows who they were or what happened to them. Only when you go to Wikipedia, you only know the winners. So I'm just saying that the environment can be influenced, and even if I don't win, I can influence who the winner is by promoting the other candidate of my choice. So part of this is like an experiment. You could call it science. You could call it political science.
Okay, I was going to let Morrow go, but if you think about the history, you also have history going against you. The fact that you ran 2 other times as a Libertarian and then you switch up, you don't think that would get brought up on stage in any debates?
Well, I ran as a Republican twice, lost, and that experience pushed me to become a Democrat, or it pushed me to become a Libertarian. It's all transformation. Are you anti-trans?
No, not interested. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to understand, like, I guess your position. I'm just saying, do you think that would be a strong position? Just because what it is that it doesn't look like you really have a strong stance. Then you're kind of fluid, and I just don't think that you'll be able to gather voters off being so fluid. Right? You will have to kind of pick a position and stand on that position. Now, don't get me wrong. Again, if we're talking about, let's just look at political history. Yeah, Trump. Trump was a registered Democrat, voted Democrat, he all been Democrat. He made a sharp change to Republican, but he didn't flip flop. He didn't go back and forth. He was a moderate Democrat. He was a moderate Republican, in my opinion.
Well, you know what I've learned after doing many interviews with media outlets and political pundits? That every interview turns out it's like a trick interview, trick questions, just to create content that can be used against you, even if the content is pro you. My point is, people want to own you. They want proprietary video, they want proprietary interview, to use it against you for your opponent. It's amazingly devious and a lot of chicanery and trickery. But the point is, one of the major questions is, why are you running? What's motivating you to run? And I usually give like a canned response, similar response. My thinking is I like to talk about the history of this and my activity in that. But the truth is, it's like a spiritual will or a divine will where, just in the same way that mushrooms spring up, this is how liberty works. It just comes naturally. And the population wants liberty. It's a little bit like Moses and the Exodus. There is a libertarian inclination, and all religions are libertarian in nature because they are all based on liberation theory or liberation theology. It's the same principle with politics.
What changed you from conservative to libertarian? What changed in your ideology?
Well, I supported Ron Paul when he ran because I like the concept of non-interventionalism, meaning we don't pick fights, we don't choose winners, we stay out of international businesses affairs. We're not the world police, we're not the civilization builder. If you don't want to educate your women and you want to practice Sharia law, who are we to say no? It's not the taxpayer's job to reconstitute your culture. So that's why I liked Ron Paul, but I also like small government. Small government, small problems. Big government, big problems. So I think we have to have real practical new management, business-minded people who are all pennies and cents and not feelings and propaganda. The thing about running is if you get petition signatures, people want to sit here and have this long conversation with you, which I'm happy to do here on Clubhouse. But on the street, when I just need a sheet, I don't have time to sit there and explain, my political philosophy, my historical understanding, my financial acumen. The point is, if the great debate is really, in my opinion, always economic theory or economic philosophy, which is really business 101. Who's got the better plan for running the pre-existing business? It's not Brandon Johnson. He has proven beyond a reasonable doubt he's a horrible steward, a terrible fiduciary of our financial well-being. He doesn't talk about it. He doesn't care about it. He just keeps borrowing and spending. We've got to have open books. We've got to have forensic accounting. We've got to have financial transparency. Taxpayers are getting crushed. Homeowners can't afford to pay their property taxes. And in Cook County, they will sell your house out from underneath you in a tax deed sale, and you're finished. Say goodbye to your house because you can't afford $10,000 in property taxes. It's blackmail. It's criminality. It's lawyers fucking feasting at the trough of our fellow citizens. I am running to liberate them from these criminal lawyers and Democrat criminal judges. the problem is the judiciary. It's not just the elected political establishment.
Absolutely.
We have all these election judges.
What would be the counter argument? How would someone argue against what you're saying right now? Let's just play it out. Let's game theory this. Figure out, okay, what would the opposing argument be against what you're stating right now?
I think people will shake their head.
This is a very compelling argument. I mean, I could say, like, for example, if you were going up against Brandon Johnson, he would basically try to discredit what you're saying right now. He would give some sort of statistics that benefit what he's saying, some of them about low, medium income people achieving some level of success somewhere, somehow, some remote section of the city, and saying that this increase proves that what you're talking about is not happening, right? It silenced you because it will talk about perceived progress and get people feeling all warm about what's really going on in the city. And then probably attack some of your points and say how that would take away from some social programs that help lower income people in some way, shape, or form, and how those people would then, because it's fear-based, right, and talk about how those people will be deprived of some resources that they're currently getting.
Brandon would tout his bullshit, non-existent tip tax, bullshit protection service. You know, if you make $200,000 a year in this city, but you're still paying $20,000 a year just in property taxes, and you're paying, almost $90,000 in income tax and Social Security tax and Medicare, Medicaid, FICA tax, and all these fucking taxes, Chicago's got to be very personally responsible as an example for the country. We have to basically start saving Chicago now because the whole fucking country is already bankrupt. Chicago has to be the leader on financial transparency, practicality, pragmatism, on how we allocate our tax dollars to what we're spending it on. No more fugazi nonprofit bullshit. That's what Johnson does. He's big in it, and it's bigger than Lori Lightfoot. Lori Lightfoot was more of a corporate criminal. Brandon Johnson has surrounded himself by crony capitalists who they may claim they're building houses for the future, for Black Chicago or low-income housing. But the problem with the Chicago Housing Authority is they have board members who are living in luxury penthouses and getting a voucher for a condo that they don't even live in anymore, and they are on the board of directors. And Brandon wants to fire the CHA president because it's not his personal pick. So Brandon Johnson is not running this like a pre-existing business. He's gutting management, and he's installing his own cronies. And these are bad people. These are not vetted. These are not elected, responsible individuals. These are his personal crony captains. And Brandon Johnson is at the head of a criminal organization and enterprise known as Brandon Johnson, Inc. And he's going to come out of this a multi-millionaire as a parasite pensioner. In my opinion, Chicago should just declare bankruptcy and seek debt forgiveness for the $200 billion in pension debt. Because when Brandon Johnson retires from being the mayor after I win, not only will I arrest him, but he will not get his pension because we're filing bankruptcy in federal court. We at least need some type of debt resolution. Do you watch television? Do you see how all these debt resolution specialists want you to call them right now to help you finally solve your debt problem? Well, that's what a vote for John Kitover will do to the mayor. I will take this city in a path that it has never taken before because it has no courage and no spine. We will file bankruptcy in federal court and dislodge over $100 billion in pension liabilities. It's a fact that will happen. It's just a matter of when.
Absolutely, man. You got firemen and police officers living in Florida receiving pensions, not paying any taxes to Illinois. It's crazy. Do you think that Chicago should take a path akin to Detroit?
It's gonna have to. It basically comes down to debt negotiation, debt resolution. that's really reorganization of the pre-existing debt and discharging some of the debt to bring it down, which really just means that pensioners are going to take a cut on their pension. 25% probably. 10% would be a good start. But we have to stop
John,
the spending.
it was it was 6% in Detroit when they went bankrupt. So they initially proposed 10, but they came to a conclusion of like 6%. Right. Chicago's pension was much more fucked than Detroit's.
So this has been a long-running room that I started 5 hours ago, originally about J.D. Vance's failure to negotiate peace, and it has warped and dwarfed into the candidacy for John Kitover as mayor. Thank you all for being here. We will run this room for 7 more minutes. Then we're going to do a hard out. So get your last shots in. If you got any complaints or advice or opinions, let's hear them now.
How can I follow you? You got Instagram? You got some other way that you're like running your campaign? I definitely would like to follow your campaign.
Yeah. Let me pin a link. And if you have any mayoral proclamations or decrees for any day 1 through day 100, just tell me what you think I should decree, and I will post it using Grok AI to generate the image. So we have ChicagoMayorVote.com, ChicagoMayorElection.com, ChicagoMayoral.com, JohnKitoverChicago.com. Got a bunch of domain names associated to the election. And what's interesting is all my AI videos have done well, and Mayor Brandon Johnson is in active content creation mode nonstop because he's running for the mayor again. He hasn't officially said whether he's running or not, but based on the content he creates, it's obvious that he's running for mayor again. And he thinks he has a shot. But we know that his time has come to an end because property taxes turn voters, and the voters are ready to liberate themselves.
I don't know, man. I think that guy's going to get reelected. They tend to make very, very bad choices in Chicago.
Well, I might be that next bad choice, Nick. You never know. Because the whole thing comes down to the ballot, Nick. And my libertarian ballot strategy tells me that truth is, I think Democrat is the way to go. Because I just know that my experience when I look at that ballot and Democrat is that first option, fuck, man, people just choose the Democrat. And so if I'm on the roster of Democrats and I don't get a majority, there's a runoff. See, this is the whole thing is like, Nick, this is the other part of running as a candidate. You can challenge other candidates. And I have been challenged so many times. I know how they have fucked me. And so now I know how to fuck them. And this time around, I'm going to challenge everybody and make it extremely fucking difficult for people to get through the scrutiny of the petitions and confirming signatures. Because with every line, every signature has 15 variables that can be challenged. It's so ludicrous and time-consuming and petty. But nonetheless, you can remove your opposition from the ballot with an effective petition strategy of challenging and removing. So I've gone through it multiple times, and I look forward to getting my first scalp and my first successful challenge this time around for the mayor. That's how you can also make history and change the outcome, is by removing people for bullshit signatures, because to get 15,000 signatures is a lot of work. And there are a lot of criminal, corrupt politicians that generate fake signatures. I've seen it multiple election cycles. Personally, I've never done it. I've been accused of doing it, but I've never done it. And I know my opposition has done it. And that is another reason why I'm running, because of that alone makes me so angry that Republicans would fake signatures on petitions. That really makes me angry. And that makes me want to take scalps. Hello?
University.
Hello?
You can hear me, University. Come off mic, University.
Hello?
Yeah. So what y'all gonna do about black folks?
What are we gonna do about black folk?
Yeah. You know this they homeland.
What?
This is their ancestors' homeland before the European white folks who claimed that they're American but really so-called citizens were really illegals.
So you are a descendant of the indigenous black? Hello?
Yeah, I asked you a question. Knock.
I asked you a question. Are you a descendant of the indigenous black American?
What's up, fam? Yeah.
Do you live in Evanston, Illinois, and are you currently getting cannabis reparations?
We talking about Illinois, period. We saying you want to tell somebody else, y'all chastise. So we talking about Illinois. You want to knock off another person, but we talking about what are you going to do around, even though you're talking about that specific area, but you got connections next door, your neighbors. You might want to think about that. Because let's say we come down there and we want to vote down. We put a black person down there in that and people, and we start thriving. You gonna vote us out now? Out our own country, land, people names that we never named.
I hear what you're saying and I feel what you're putting down. I stand with the black man. I done been baptized by a black man in the name of the Holy Spirit. So when I say I know how to have fun, I know how to have fun, brother.
Hey, but see what happened if we arrest you then on our soil for what you're saying?
Well, then I guess I gotta go through that judicial system to get my victory, to get my liberty, to get my joy.
Your number. Now you gotta get your number. You see what I'm saying? You gotta go just like the people over there across the border gotta get a number, name it, a different eight. Yeah, you gotta do that too now. Because we never gave y'all the rights. The paperwork, what I said. Y'all broke treaty. Y'all time is up. Let's talk. Or do you don't want to talk about that, do you?
Well, interestingly enough, I have something interesting here. Listen to this.
That makes sense, don't it? Damn. You come to some other people's houses and you try to tell them what they're doing in their house. What?
Okay, listen to this. This is the Declaration of Indian Purpose from 1961 at the American Indian Chicago Conference. Listen to this. Since you brought up treaties being broken, a treaty in the minds of our people is an eternal word. Events often make it seem expedient to depart from the pledged word, but we are conscious that the first departure creates a logic for the second departure until there's nothing left of the word.
okay, let's say this right. You just said until it's nothing left of the workers. So your folks set y'all up and in a position to try to take over people and keep it in so-called order in their own ancestors' homeland, right? It's not working because people is rising in their own ancestors' land and they looking at people who don't really belong here as, like confused, like, well, hey, y'all not from here and y'all telling us what to do on our land. Y'all killing us on our soil. So y'all arresting us on our soil and getting paid for this. Think about it. What happened if we reverse our county and put it right back on you for the war crimes and things that y'all doing? Think about what I'm talking to you about.
I hear you, but the truth is, the only way to bring a lawsuit is with filing fees in the court system. If you ain't even got the motherfucking money to file them filing fees and pay attorney fees, your court case is going nowhere. Money talk, bullshit walk. Don't settle the dispute.
Yeah, so you feel me? And they think that they can do things on people's soil. They think that what they say is smart. We know how to play chess, right? We know how to reverse psychology. We know how to educate y'all on y'all history, what y'all did to our people. You want to wake it up? What y'all keep doing? Keep here? Okay, I'm very much keep it big. I don't think you're going to get messy, right? Y'all trying to take over people's houses, lands. Y'all making movies. Think about what I'm talking to you about, young man. You're making movies about what your ancestors did on other people's soil. Then y'all mimicking people. What y'all used to do to them. Rape, rob, and murder. And y'all getting paid off of it. Universe. Right? It's supposed to be cool though, right? And God we trust. Thou shalt not kill. Equality.
So let me ask you something. Do you go by L or do you go by I?
I go by
L. Alright, L. Oh shit. What I'm trying to say is, L, when you are talking to the universe, do you think that the universe listens to you?
Check this out. It's an echo out there. Echo.
Doesn't sound like it replied with the word that you said.
That's like, you ever seen a ripple effect?
I know, but if a tree falls in a forest and there ain't nobody to hear it, well, was it recorded or observed, or did it really fall? Does it take an observer? Is it called the observer effect? Hello?
It's called we observe everything that y'all do. What do we see? Everything on earth as it is in heaven, we can see. We got eyes and ears. Remember, created from the beginning. We can see, we can hear, we can see. It's either gonna be in order or out of order. And right now, you're thinking out of order. So let me put you back in order. Try that again. You own stolen land. And then do know what else?
You know what? A magical instrument opinion. Every time I think I hear opinion, I hit my opinion drum. So what I'm trying to say is, when I hear that's when I hit it. Whenever I hear for an opinion, I hit my opinion drum.
I had the challenge. Hey, but you a grown man, though, right? That's why we know how who got the mental health issues. Grown man alert, but acting childish.
Could be projection. When you say that a grown man you talking to randomly on the internet running for mayor got mental health issues, that could be a projection on your part. It's just my.
Who made that up? We never made that up in America. The real Aboriginals, we don't know nothing about no Democrat, Republican, liberal, or independent, or whatever bull crap y'all keep coming up with, rewording and trying to make so-called sense. We never did that. You're doing it. You're making up stuff. Y'all making up stuff and think they were supposed to, believe. We know how to read between the lines, son. So every time I say something, correct, do that then. Now we're gonna play chess. Bingo. Right with knowledge. Right. So you teach them kids how it's okay to take over and go to war, start things in America. Knowing that the innocent, we are the innocent people, that your people is dangerous. Keep trying to say that we are all equal. We never said that. Y'all saying that. Y'all created that we are all equal. We are all as God's one. We never said that. Y'all forced that onto our people. Our elders never said that. Remember, y'all killed off our forefathers for y'all. Y'all raped, robbed, and murdered, enslaved our people. We never did that.
Let me ask you something. Is that a fact or is that an opinion? Is that an opinion? Is it a fact or is it an opinion? That's for opinion.
Y'all, at university, this is what I'm saying. This is how I love that echo. You know what I'm saying? You said it's the universe. A black man is telling you who really is the original creator.
How do I know you? How do I know you're really black? Could just be an opinion.
And a white man will take a movie of the black man parts, pieces, puzzles.
No.
And make it and say it doesn't matter when people try to tell them, hey, that's not how it goes. The movie is just a play. What? That's what white people teach you. Oh, they playing. Check this out.
Hello.
So, hey, you got white people making all different type of images of Jesus. What? He got blonde hair, blue eyes. He got brown eyes, brown hair. Well, otherwise, some they got a Abraham Jesus. You know what I'm saying? They got all the Jesus. They don't even know Jesus, his word.
See, I'm Aboriginal too. I can play an Aboriginal instrument. I learned that Aboriginal instrument from my forefathers who were indigenous to this land, even though they didn't know it, because every man in every line of heritage is indigenous to the planet known as Earth. Hello. You see, I figured out your riddle. You thought you could fool me with your complicated riddle, but I figured out the truth of the earth.
Yeah, it's an echo of the universe. And I bet you the world here. It's a bounce back. You can even stand on Earth and look into the universe and watch that echo come back. You can yell out and watch that echo ripple effect. Watch everybody get it and start reading the book and start thinking about, damn, why white people keep calling themselves Jews or American, like this, that, and the third. Why white people just, stealing other people's languages and culture and identity and names, trying to make this, that, that these people, they got, and then all of a sudden, they want to say this, that, and the third. Where in the book it says that they give people their own lands, their own identity, their own race, their own history. Now here it is, white folks want to take it and mix it up, say we all need the same. What the fuck? So you saying my father is your father, your father's my father. Psych.
Well, I'd like to dedicate this song to all the voters in Chicago who have been fooled by the Democrats for far too long, since 1960. Over 66 years of lies, sucking away at your property taxes like parasites, sucking at your water tax, sucking up your garbage tax, sucking up your sewer tax. This song is for your magical and your mystical liberation. Had one. Hello.
He did just hit that shit though. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all was fire.
Hey, so I had to post it in the chat. Hey, arrest yourself.
Rest
Did you
yourself.
say can and shall be held against you in the court of law? Oh.
You see, the difference between the court of law and the cosmic court of law is that one is based in a Democrat court with a Democrat judge, and we already know what that Democrat judge is going to do. That Democrat judge is going to tell you to shut the fuck up and shut your fucking mouth. That's exactly what that Democrat judge is going to do. Shut up! Shut up! That's what you're going to hear. Shut up! Shut him up!
And let's just say that black folks are very now let's speak that into the reality existence.
What? Sorry, I had the volume turned down. What did you say?
I don't know about that.
That right there is a divine moment. Yeah. You said this right here, government, right? They gonna do what? Against what laws? You said they better than who laws? They better than God. Universal laws. And you say you finna vote who in and who out. Okay. We gonna reach there. Come on, let's reach.
Well, I think it's important right now at this here time to bring up the chakra centers. Chakras associate with particular aspects of human awareness. Blocks on the spiritual, mental, emotional, physical levels cause problems. We are going to cleanse your chakras by quieting or stimulating with healing factors that release reservoirs of energy, debris to free healthy energy frequencies. All right, listen up, Chicago. These are your healing number and cool locations. First, we got the planet metal. This is the main issue. Then we got the goal and the function. Then we got the foods and the gland. Then we got the body part and the symbol element. And we got sense, sound, the gemstone. We got an angel, ideal, quieting stone, fragrance, and incense. And we got stimulating stone and aroma. The number one is your root. Just like that TV show Roots with Kunta Kinte. Root. Red, that's the color red. It is the base of your spinal column. The planet is known as Saturn, not Uranus, as many people think. They think we're talking about Uranus, but we are actually talking about Saturn. And that is lead. Lead, you might say. Survival is key. Next, we got stability and grounding. We are going to ground and stabilize. Up next, we got the protein, the adrenals, right here. A lot of women today, they got adrenal gland blockage, and the doctors are always billing the Medicare and the Medicaid for the adrenal glands. After the adrenals, we got the legs and the feet of the earth, a red square. Below that, we got the smell of the bloodstone. Then we got the aureole, the hematite, and the cedar myrrh. And we got the garnet and the cinnamon. Maybe that's why I like cinnamon on my beer mimosas so much, that delicious cinnamon. Is it a spice or is it a sugar? Up next, we got the sacral. Number 2, orange, the sacrum. We got the moon. The metal is tin. And the main issue here is sexuality, desires, and emotions. That is the goal of the function. For the foods in the gland, we got the liquid gonads. The body part is the abdomen. The symbol and the element is an orange triangle, which means water. Then we got taste and dew or coral, which is the sense and the sound. O is the sound. The gemstone is the coral. The angel is Gabriel. The ideal or the quieting stone is the quartz. The fragrance is the rose. And the incense is the saffron. The stimulating stone and aroma is the carnelian and the dragon blood. Those are the first 2 chakras. We have healed together your first 2 chakras, the root and the sacral. Up next, we got the navel. The navel. All right, we're going to take a little chakra cleansing break and rest my vocal cords. don't care. Donald Trump is master of the universe. They call us the Bucket Boys of Chicago. Hello? All right, this next song is dedicated to the liberty of Chicago, freeing the taxpayers from the Democrat CTU control of taxpayer property tax, parasitism, and slavery. Never had one lesson
States, tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world. America, 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 USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, and heart, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Let it go, go, go. Strike the master. Draw the flame sword. President of the United States. King hands and roaring skin. King and master of the universe. Donald Trump, president of the world. America, 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 America. USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God. Joy, abundance, not hell. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Hold, hold, hold. Let it go, go, go. Strike the master. God, draw the flaming sword. President of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin. King and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world. America, 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 America. USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God. Joy, abundance, and health. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Over 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Let me go, go, go. Strike the master. Draw the flaming sword. President of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin. King and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world. America, 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 America. USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God. Abundance and health. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. For 10 seconds. 10, not 11. Not 9. Let it go, go. Strike the master. Draw the flaming President of the United States.
Yes! Deliver! Deliver!
USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God. Joy, abundance, and health. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Over 10 seconds. 10, not 11. 10, not 9. Let it go, go, go. Strike the master. Draw the flaming sword.
It's not warfare. It's not about protecting people.
Okay.
Like-
Well, you can have that view if you want. I'm still going to argue for what I think is correct, and I give the arguments. I mean, if you think the arguments are poor, then you can respond and tell me why the arguments don't work. But just saying that you don't think that that's a way to go, I mean, that's fine. That's your opinion.
yeah, because I mean, your argument, you suggest that a fetus is a trespasser.
I said it's analogous to an intruder in the case of a self-defense, because people that want to argue that abortion is murder, then this would be what I consider an adequate response to saying it's not murder, it's a type of self-defense. And if it's
But a fetus is not a trespasser.
It's meant to be an analogy.
Okay, and the analogy doesn't work because a fetus is not a trespasser.
Well, I argue that it is, because it's an unwanted is literally inside the woman. So it's
Which is, of
her.
course,
It means that something is in her that she didn't want put in her. It was put in her anyway. Whether it's through natural means or by intention is irrelevant. Like, the fact that it's there, that makes it an intruder. And what makes it intruder is down to the intentions of the mother. Because obviously, if she wants the pregnancy, then it's not an intruder. But if she doesn't intend for it to be there, it then becomes an intruder, or like an intruder. So it's down to the intentions of the mother.
That's absurd.
How so?
Like, suggest that a person is an intruder just because, you know, they came in, or they're there when I didn't want them.
What do you think? How else would you define an intruder? That's literally the definition.
If I wanted somebody to leave, you know, it doesn't make me an intruder, especially if I invite them in my house.
Yeah,
You know.
some people outstay their welcome, and then you're like, you invited them in the first place, and then they do something under your roof that you don't approve, and now they've overstayed their welcome, and now you intend for them to leave. If they refuse to leave, then they become an intruder at that point.
Yeah.
So it's literally, you can literally track
None of
that.
these are very good. Yeah, none of these
Yeah,
are very good
I
analogies to
agree.
what the issues are around reproductive justice.
Yeah, like, essentially, that would mean, like, this is the biggest objection I made, is that if a fetus is a trespasser, that would mean that all children who are born through accident are born criminals or conceived as criminals.
It's not to say that they're treated as criminals. It's that the.
But they're not treated as criminals. But that would logically mean that they are conceived as criminals.
In the analogy, like.
I understand the point.
How was your time on the island? Terrible. I had to
If
hook up with you.
someone doesn't want someone to be there, then they have the right to remove them. Whether we treat them as criminals or
No,
not,
like,
is
Carlos,
not relevant.
we should just use if it's a threat to her life or to her. You know, we don't treat it as something that is. I think a better analogy is you have a person with a chip in their brain that, you know, is programmed up to, as you said, shove the bowling ball up the individual's ass, and the person kills that person to prevent that from happening. Because you have it where the fetus is unconscious. If you assume the fetus is a person, is an unconscious, innocent party, but is still harmful.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the issue is here. Like,
The issue is because you're making an unnecessary step by making it analogous to a trespasser. A better analogy, you should just say that it's a threat to her life, which is what the person who is, you know, has the chip in their brain to go and shove a bowling ball up the person's ass.
the problem is with that is that not all pregnancies are affectable. It's just about the right to end the pregnancy.
Yes, just like you still have the ability to kill the person, even if they are an innocent party.
Not really sure what, like, you're changing here. Like,
I'm changing because
So let me just restate it. So you're objecting to me calling the fetus an intruder because it makes them sound like they're a criminal.
Yes, because you can't compare bodily rights to bodily autonomy to property rights, is what I think. I think
So
that's a category mistake.
Is your body not your property?
It is yours, but it's not property.
Well, it can be analogous to property if it belongs to you.
Okay, but I still can't kill somebody to protect my property.
The relevant constitutional conversation around it is not about property, but about privacy.
Yeah, well, privacy and bodily autonomy.
Bodily autonomy, which isn't really, the analog is not being, it's not the question, the constitutional questions are not about property rights. They're about the 14th Amendment and privacy and autonomy. Much more related to the life, liberty, pursuit, happiness part.
Yeah, Carlos, what you're doing is espousing nationalism, where essentially, as I stated, you're saying you're using it as a property rights perspective as opposed to, because the distinction between evictionism and pro-choice is that evictionism says we have the right to evict the fetus. We don't have the right to the fetus.
Is the problem that this, because the intruder's conscious, that's what your problem is. Like, if it was like if the intruder was a cancer, like, it's obviously not a cancer, not conscious. Like, if you have a problem with the cancer and intruder,
Sorry, you said it
is the problem like calling the intruder conscious because the thing is potentially going to be a conscious being?
No, I'm saying if we're to assume the fetus is a person, I think that using the trespasser is the right
Fathers of some children in this building found their families could
If
be
it was
helped
a
very well.
cancer, which is obviously not conscious or no potential of being conscious, if we called a cancer an intruder, would you have a problem with that?
No, because yes, I would.
No? Yes?
Oh, well, go walk your dog, bro.
I mean, I would call it an intruder. Like,
Father,
especially most people would, because they wouldn't.
Just call it a disease.
Because it's meant to be an analogy to an actual intruder.
Okay, well, I don't see the point of being descriptive of what cancer is when it really is just a disease. That does all the work, right?
Yeah, but the point is that you if you have a cancer in you, you have the technology to remove cancer. Then you should be able to remove that unwanted. It's an intruder that's affecting you, or whatever. You should have the right to remove it. The fact that it's not conscious shouldn't make a difference. And then obviously in the case of a pregnancy, you don't intend for the pregnancy to be in your body. You have the right to technological capability to do so. It would be analogous, like the cancer, and analogous to an actual intruder on your body. If they're there and you don't want them there, then you have the technological capability to remove them. Whether it means killing them or not, you still have the right to remove them. The analogy goes.
Yeah, and you're forgetting the calculus. You're saying fetus. You think of a fetus person. I don't. But you're using a fetus as a person, which is something that it's not just cancer where it's like a disease.
So you're specifically talking about fetus, or are you talking about zygote?
The unborn perspective about it.
Yeah, but because there's many different stages of pregnancy, obviously, at the beginning.
Essentially, we're assuming like Carlos is different case from where it's like essentially, it's like we don't believe that a fetus, particularly in the early stages of pregnancy, is a person. But Carlos
No,
thinks
because there is this viability outside of the womb.
No, Carlos
Just to be clear, I didn't call it a person. What I said is that life starts from conception.
Sorry, life starts from conception, did you say? So what about an ectopic pregnancy that is conceived, but isn't viable? Would that be killing?
Whether it's right or not, at any stage in life, begins of like the fertilization
in the ground is where life begins. Really? Have to grow still and be able to interact with the sun and be viable.
As long as it's fertilizer, then the life process begins. That's the consensus.
This is the first time anyone is getting a view of what happened inside.
And it's not the sun. It's not the sun. It's the air.
But what
No,
are we calling
you're mistaken on how trees and plants grow. They grow because of the air,
We have known
not because of the sun. They do once they get to the sun. But before that, it's air.
No, you're absolutely wrong. When
No, I'm not wrong.
when a plant has developed enough chlorophyll in it, it is then going to, produce energy via photosynthesis.
You mean glucose? But yeah, go ahead.
To be honest,
Yeah, I said energy, glucose, whatever you want to call it.
it's going to be a bit difficult.
No, be technical. You want to be technical? Explain. How is it that we need energy, but for some strange reason, on this planet, a plant produces glucose on its own. It literally is the backbone of our ecosystem.
No, plants
Because it
don't
sustains
create
itself.
on its own. It needs to be
Needs
able
what?
to, it needs sunlight.
How does it get sunlight when it's in the ground?
No, it doesn't produce glucose at that point.
Exactly. So what's making it grow?
What do you mean what's making it grow? The nutrients that it feeds off of in the soil.
The soil has nothing to do
It does.
at all. Very little to do with the plant. There's plants and trees that grow
So you're telling me without the
on
soil,
on the side of the mountains. They don't need as much soil as you
well,
think.
you're telling me that a plant without the soil isn't going to produce, it is going to produce enough chlorophyll to be able to produce glucose from photosynthesis. Because if you do not have soil and you just put a seed in a dark place and it grows, you'll get a yellow stalk. You won't get a green stalk, and it won't be able to. It won't be viable.
I heard that.
Okay, well, let's not talk about plant life. Let's talk about cells.
Damn, bro, you shot.
Are cells life?
They are life, yes.
Yeah. So what would be the difference?
Simplest form, yes.
Yeah. Well, isn't that what a zygote is? Yeah. So,
Welcome to Chicago.
yeah.
Yeah, but what the...
Our body's made up of cells. Our skin.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But
Yeah.
what I was saying is that the consensus in biology is that life starts from fertilization, like in terms of human life. Like personhood is kind of just a kind of a philosophical term that's arbitrary, really, for pragmatic purposes. But
Welcome to Chicago.
logically, we're looking at a new life at the start of like fertilization. And I think right now is a pro-choice.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But
I hate to interrupt, Sigma, but there is an intruder on the stage interrupting you to tell Carlos that a baby in a vagina uterus is not an intruder, you fucking wanker, tosser, fucking moron. Learn how to use the King's English, not call a baby an intruder. That's someone breaks into your home to molest or kill you or rob you. That's a fucking intruder, Carlos. You fucking tosser. You fucking wanker.
Okay, I didn't know he was gonna do that.
Okay.
Where did Mr. Nickla go?
I don't know. He dropped out.
The fuck?
Yeah,
Thanks, man.
If he wants to produce an argument for that, I'm happy to.
Sure. I'll invite him back up, I guess.
I'm looking at the Oxford Dictionary under the word intruder. It says that Carlos is the definition of an R-word who can't distinguish between what an intruder is and a pregnancy. Dumb fucks don't even know what a baby is in a uterus anymore. What you do is you take a penis and you stick it in a vagina, you ejaculate, you don't articulate, you ejaculate, not articulate, and then you make a baby. And it's not called an intruder, Carlos. You fucking tosser.
Baby, not a baby, a baby. It's a baby.
Alistair's a notorious troll. He's a notorious troll. He's just up here to troll you guys. He's not a serious dude. I've had like several conversations with him.
It's all about the babies being born. New Muslim men.
How dare you tell me that I'm a troll? That's a projection if I've ever heard one. You're the fucking troll! Troll!
Yo, dude, Alistair, chill out, dude, come on. Can you invite this thing?
The babies.
You gotta save the babies! It's obvious! We're killing all the babies!
Yeah, that's pretty good, Buff.
That's not very.
I apologize, but you see, when people think that an abortion has something to do with privacy and not murder, people don't understand the definition of fucking murder anymore. When you take a fucking robot and stick it inside of a uterus and cut off the head, rip the fucking arms off, rip the fucking legs off, dissect the torso, suck it out into a fucking tube and put it in an oil barrel, well, that's called fucking decapitation and murder. It's not a late-term abortion. It's not an early-term abortion. It's fucking murder, mate. It's not a fucking invasion. It's not an intruder. It's not a robbery. It's not a home invasion. It's not an invader, Carlos. Learn how to use your English correctly. Stop forcing your fucking bullshit on us by calling a baby an intruder. We've got to protect the babies. We've got to love the babies. If we can't love a baby, how can we love ourselves? How can we love God if we hate a innocent little baby?
Little babies.
I recently wrote a hit song called Babyface. Do you know what a babyface looks like, Carlos? It doesn't look like somebody robbing your house, mate. It's a baby. We've got to protect the babies.
It's an analogy.
An analogy, dumbass? Are we talking about the philosopher Dumas? Because I'm not a dumbass. Dumbass. At least I know what a fucking baby is, you fucking wanker.
Yeah, at least I know what an analogy is.
An analogy? Something analogous? Like an analog? A comparative paraphrase? Listen, you fucking wanker. You think a baby's an intruder if a woman determines that her reproductive rights are violated? You fucking tosser.
Violated? Our rights violated. They don't have no rights in England. The Queen, I mean the King.
Well, I don't hear Carlos fighting back saying, okay, well maybe I was using my words wrong, incorrectly describing things through an analogy. No, Carlos just sits there in silence. Carlos's greatest weapon is his silence. He's gonna let the fools.
This is what you.
Jewish.
This is what you resorted to. See, this is your problem.
Drop this fucking thing, you idiot. Check this out. God, that was so funny. The Jewish fucking Long Island, she almost Oh my god, that just made me laugh. Oh my god, I almost cried.
Megatron, could you maybe explain what you're laughing at? Could you maybe explain to Carlos why that's so funny?
You did the Jew with the British accent. I thought that was funny. How the fuck are you gonna do the Jew with the British accent? That was great. Oh my god. Who was that guy that used to do the old Jewish lady's voice again? Oh my god, that guy was great too. He was the good guy. He was so funny. Hey guys, are hysterical.
Could you imagine going out to dinner with your fiance and she tells you that she's got an intruder inside her uterus?
Yeah, I don't know how you call a baby an intruder, but I guess what he's trying to say is that my profile, they weren't expected.
You know what annoys me the most? You're all going to hell.
We go.
Hello?
Good night.
It's all about the baby.
Seriously, Don Lemon, for crying out loud.
Hey, I know you.
Instagram?
You have an Instagram? Hey, I know you.
Did they get reach up by
A YouTube creator is suing Amazon because he's saying that Amazon uses YouTube video to train their AI model.
Oh my god. So the color in my photo, just to let you know, is halfway. Wait, hold on. Babe, what was the name of the paint again? It's not baby blue. It's called. What is it? Yeah, no, mine. This one. What was it called, babe? Hinting Blue by Sherman Williams. Hinting Blue for the girls' room. Yep. This room, guys, we're doing a little bit differently. We are not taking the room apart. This room is not as big as the other rooms. This room will remain intact for most of the evening. So I'm just moving one piece of furniture to the middle of the room, working my way out. And the goal right now is to get this done before the girls get this prepared so that after they eat, they can start taking baths and get prepared for bed because they got work tomorrow. They got school tomorrow. So hopefully, I'm still on good timing here. So really putting a little bit into overtime here. That's it. I'm using a Marathon roller, polyester for a superior finish. A Purdy roller, very smooth roller, with a short, very short handle for extension, so we can apply pressure on the roller as we're applying the paint to the wall. So remember, guys, to use a 3/8 snap so we don't get too much of the splatter. Very little splatter with a 3/8 snap. And if you know what the fuck you're doing and you're not a fucking tool, you can actually get something done. I'm sorry, did I curse? My bad. And yes, I use a 3/8 knot only on walls because I'm not a fucking hack. And I don't need to use
such a big paintbrush on such a, paint roller on such a
People remember this horrific video from a dash camera.
you have to apply less paint. On the roller, that's fine and dandy, but then sometimes you put a little too much,
Virginia just
and it gets a little messy.
Murder and some other felonies for the crime that happened in Sterling, Virginia back on July.
This is professional here, so
It all started inside
I'm not putting any protection on the floor or anything. I'm kind of fucking winging it right now.
In affordable housing today,
No.
Mayor Brandon Johnson
I don't
announced a
want to be cleaning shit up.
$300 million fund to build
So
and
all
preserve
the dads out there,
across the city. The
we
projects
use
are
agreed
part
now.
of a city plan that uses federal
Make
tax
sure the
credits
final
and
coat,
private investment to expand housing options.
we're using the
Officials say
same
most of these
roller
units will be affordable.
as before. Get the good paint where you don't have to, where you just do 2 coats, where you don't have to apply primer.
Well, the city is making a
You don't have to put a different color primer for coloring walls. I have to paint it twice. Those mitts are nothing but a lie. This is if you want to use a different paint, to get the paint color, chances are you're probably going to paint the under one so good that you might have to paint it even more times to get the color through. So, if you're painting the color, just paint it right on.
What's your age?
I'm 18.
Are you single?
Surface no need.
At your age,
Different color
would you rather
paint.
date a man who was
Babe, I'm on
already
a
established or
rolling
one that's building?
tutorial right now. For all the guys that don't know how to
What's your
roll
age?
I'm 18.
paint,
Are you single?
Yes.
they're
At your
fucking
age,
useless.
would you rather date a man who was
Yeah.
already established or one that's
Yeah.
building?
Both are fine. I would be fine building with them. Like, working
I'm not
with
I
them.
paint the light
Why not
switch.
shoot for the stars and get the man who's already up there? We're in Miami, you're young.
I don't need to.
Oh,
I don't need to. That's not
Yeah.
what it's all about.
No.
And I love money, but like I can get it myself.
So what would you say it's about when it comes on to relationships?
When it comes down to relationships, honesty, that's so sappy. No. Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
What's one thing men don't seem to understand about women?
Is that we're not evil.
That's right, guys.
We're not evil.
he
If
came
we
in,
can communicate, we
put
can
the fucking
communicate as
blower
well.
on.
Would you say that men or
Well, that
women are
blows-
better at taking accountability?
Taking accountability
Conversations.
just depends on the person.
Why do you feel like so many men think that women are evil?
I'm not even-
I'm just listening right now.
For sure. We just trying to make sure that y'all get a chance to speak because we going back and forth. Don't want to take.
President of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world, America, 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 USA, 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 justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, and health, reading truth and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day, 10, 7, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9, let it go, 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 strike the master chord, draw, draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, president of the United States, hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world, America, 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 USA, 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 justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, and health, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day, hold for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, 9, let it go, 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 strike the master chord, draw, draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, president of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin, king and master of the universe, Donald Trump, president of the world, America, Donald Trump, President of the United States. Tiny hands and orange skin. King and master of the universe. Donald Trump, President of the world. America, 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 America. USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God. Joy, abundance, and health. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 let it go, go, go. Strike the master chord. Draw, draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, President of the United States. Tiny hands and orange skin. King and master of the universe. Donald Trump, President of the world. America, 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 America. USA, 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 USA. Huh? Justice, love, God. Joy, abundance, and health. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 let it go, go, go. Strike the master chord. Draw, draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, President of the United States. Tiny hands and orange skin. King and master of the universe. Donald Trump, President of the world. America, 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 America. USA, USA, USA. Justice, love, God. Joy, abundance, and health. Healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day. Hold for 10 seconds, 10, not 11, 10, not 9. Hold, 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 let it go, go, go. Strike the master chord. Draw, draw the flaming sword. Donald Trump, President of the United States. Tiny hands and orange skin. King and master of the universe. Donald Trump, President of the world. America, America, America. USA, 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 USA. Justice, law, and God. Joy, abundance, and health. Healing, truth, President of the United States, tiny hands and orange skin. King and master of the universe, Donald Trump, President of the world, America, America, America. USA, USA, USA. Justice, law, and God, joy, abundance, and health, healing, truth, and peace. Take the deepest breath of the day, hold for 10 seconds, 10, 9, 11, 10, 9, hold, let it go, 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 strike the master chord, draw the flaming sword. Walked into the deli, snow on my coat. Bell on the door, gave a tired little note. Old man at the counter said, "Kid, you look beat. Oh, I got something warm that'll knock you off your feet." My top ball, hallelujah, floating like a dream in a bowl so deep. My top ball, hallelujah, one good spoon and I could almost weep. Oh, man. My top ball, hallelujah, steam in my face, I can finally breathe. My top ball, hallelujah, this is what my hungry heart believes. Rock gold to sunset, parsley on top. Carrots doing circles, they don't wanna stop. Took that first sip, time slowed in the chair. Heard my body laughing from an empty air. My top ball, hallelujah, floating like a dream in a bowl so deep. My top ball, hallelujah, one good spoon and I could almost sweep. Oh yeah, my top ball, hallelujah, salt on my lips, all my troubles leave. My top ball, hallelujah, this is what my hungry heart believes. Some find faith in mountains, some in stars above. Me, I find my miracle in chicken soup and love. My top ball, hallelujah, floating like a dream in a bowl so deep. My top ball, hallelujah, every little sip like a secret key. My top ball, hallelujah, from the belly straight to my soul tonight. My top ball, hallelujah, one more bowl and everything's alright. Corner deli, rain in the gutter, steam on the glass, coach by the door, bell gives a ring. Old man mutters, "Kid, you look thin, you could use one more." Counters crowded, paper hat crooked, he winks once like he's in on a joke. I got just the thing, yeah, the minute he said it, I could smell that magic rising in the smoke. Must run me on my head, stack it up high, must have left my tears in my eye. Pick on the side, soul, pride, pride, this is what it means to be alive. Must run me on my head, must run me on my head. slow like a family story. Leans in close, this one's on me. Says his father came here with nothing. Built this counter like a little country. Red still warm from the back room of it. Grease on my hands, shirt yet it's stained. One big bite and the whole world's off the subway. Worries all go down the drain. What's really alright? Stacking up right. What's in that price? Teasing my eyes. Pickle on the side. So right, right. This is what it means to be alive. What's really alright? Oh, what's really alright? Maybe it's the smoke. Maybe it's the brown. Maybe it's a ghost standing in the light. But I taste old songs in every bite. Like somebody's blessing every crumb tonight. What's gonna be alright? Stack it up high. Mustard and bites, tears in my eyes. Pickle on the side, salt, pride, pride. This is what it means to be alive. What's gonna be alright? One more time. What's gonna be alright? What's gonna be alright?
Give me the sign of the open eye, a riddle of shadows where whispers lie, thorny thigh, the maddening cry. Open, open, open. I am awake, the serpent The eagle strikes with his jagged claw. The beasts emerge as the gods withdraw. A storm of silence, a broken reborn on the hunt. Shadows whisper truths as the baseline drums. The will is fire, unchained, untamed. No path is written, no soul is blamed. Thou hast no right but to thy will. Feel the stars, let the silence fill your will. On flight, it's alive, it's still. Delivered from the lust of the thrill. Echo shattered glass where the circuits glow. The clock ticks slow, but it doesn't show. No purpose, no tug, just a beat in sync. Every way perfect, on the edge, on the brink. No chains, no bars, just a void to fill. Every pulse, every spark is the perfect will. Thou hast no right but to do thy will. Feel the surge, let the silence fill your will. On its way, it's alive, it's dead. Delivered from the lust of the thrill. In the endless dark where the echoes play. No fire burn like passion were. No losing through like hatred fire. This body aches, a cage of stone. Rest whispers soft, the only throne. Hunger's the beast, the sharpest sting. Body cries, its constant cling. But on to truly see, none waits. It sets us free. Pain walks close, a shadowed friend. Each step we take, it will attend. But joy lies quiet, just out of view. A higher peak, the sky is blue. Feel the weight, feel it break. Every ache, every quake. Hunger's the beast, the sharpest sting. It's constant cling. But oh, to know, to truly see, none waits. It sets us free. No flame is fierce, no chain is tight. This body's war, this endless fight. But higher still, beyond the fray, rest calls my name, and I
The root.
Free from strife, no wounds clean, no weight on life. Among the weary, will stand tall. A gentle voice for one and all. Happily then, will rise again. Serpent shakes. The eagle strikes with its jagged claw. by the mystical union of fairy and fawn. A dance in the shadows from dusk until dawn. Unspoken the whispers that drift through the trees. Unbroken the vow carried soft on the breeze. Oh, fiery
Valkyrie.
I invoke, through the flames of the embers, the spell that spoke. Your arrows and slinging, that springs tender glow. A force wild and brilliant, a power I know. A secret communion of hearts left unsung. The listless, resistless, tumultuous tongue. Through veils of the morning, her armor does gleam. The warrior spirit ignites every dream. No godhead could charm her, no throne could command. But manhood awakened, she took up her stand. In brilliance resilient, her fire does burn. A goddess of spring, with the world left to turn. Fire and flattery, I invoke, through the flames and the embers, the spell is bespoke. Your arrows and slinging, the spring's tender glow. A force wild and brilliant, a power I know. She took up her stand in brilliance as the ends. Her fire does burn. A goddess of spring, with the world left to turn. Oh, fiery Valkyrie, I invoke, I invoke. Through the flames and the embers, the spell is bespoke. Your eyes unflaming, the spring's tender glow. Force wild and brilliant, a power I know. Silhouette carved in the shadow of night. The stars overhead burn cold and bright. But they can't touch the heat of that flame. Through the midnight of madness we go. Shadows dance, they break the light, echoes hum, the stars ignite. I was yours, you were mine, a spell woven in the sky. understand.